Welcome to another episode of Now You Know More. I'm Janine, and today we delve into the chilling and unsettling tale of Samuel Little, the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history. His name might not be as widely recognized as some other notorious figures, but his crimes are just as extensive and devastating. Sam's reign of terror spanned over 4 decades, claiming the lives of at least 93 women across 37 states. His victims were often marginalized and forgotten members of society. They were targeted with chilling precision. His cunning and exclusiveness allowed him to evade justice for years, with his horrific crimes going largely unnoticed until his eventual capture in 2012. In this video, we'll unravel the complexities of Sam Little's early life, looking into the factors that may have shaped the monster he became. Could anything have been done to prevent this? Let's find out. Samuel Little was born Samuel McDowell on June 7, 1940, in Reynolds, Georgia. He entered the world under incredibly challenging circumstances. His mother, Betsy Mae Little, was a teenage prostitute who reportedly abandoned him shortly after his birth. His father, Paul McDowell, was a young man of 19 at the time. The absence of his mother and father and the unstable family life likely had a profound impact on his development, leading to deep-seated feelings of abandonment and neglect. These early experiences would later manifest into truly horrific ways. Little's childhood was troubled by discipline problems and a lack of academic achievement. At Hawthorne Junior High School, he struggled with both behavior and grades. Disturbingly, it was during this time that he began to have disturbing fantasies about strangling women, a chilling foreshadowing of the horrors to come. By his teenage years, Little was already engaging in criminal activities. He was convicted of breaking and entering in 1956 and spent time in a juvenile institution. His early brushes with the law marked the beginning of a long and troubled criminal career, a dark path that seemed to be all but inevitable. There's no information to suggest that Samuel Little had any siblings. His treatment by his family, particularly his mother, who abandoned him, and the general lack of a stable family environment, undoubtedly contributed to his troubled behavior and the development of a deeply disturbed psyche. Little's adolescence was characterized by further criminal activities and escalating behavioral issues. He was not a good kid by any conventional standards and was known for his delinquency and misconduct. These are not just youthful indiscretions, but early warning signs of something far more sinister. Sam Little's crimes stretched over 4 decades, from 1970s to the early 2010s. He primarily targeted vulnerable women, including prostitutes, drug addicts, and those living on the fringes of society. He often strangled his victims, sometimes after assaulting them. His method of disposal varied. He would often leave the bodies in secluded areas or drop them in waterways, showing a chilling disregard for human life. Little traveled extensively, which allowed him to commit crimes across many states, making it exceptionally difficult for law enforcement to connect the murders and bringing about a truly horrific reign of terror. To sustain a nomadic lifestyle and his dark impulses, Samuel Little engaged in a variety of petty crimes. He was a skilled shoplifter, often targeting stores for goods he could easily resell. He also worked various odd jobs, typically for short periods of time, which provided him with just enough money to move from city to city. This transient existence, fully fueled by theft and sporadic employment, allowed him to remain under the radar for so long. His ability to blend in and avoid detection was a key factor in the length and scope of his horrific crime spree. He had a talent for disappearing, resurfacing, only to commit more heinous acts before vanishing again. Now this raises a chilling question. How do you think someone like Samuel Little could go undetected for so long? How many more people are like him out there? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're as captivated by true crime as I am, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into some of history's most disturbing stories. Little's arrest in 2012 in Louisville, Kentucky was initially for a drug charge. However, his DNA was a match for evidence found in several cold cases related to homicides in California. This led to further investigation into his past, and law enforcement began to uncover the extent of his crimes. Little confessed to 93 murders, providing details that only the killer would know, including vivid descriptions of his victims and how he killed them. His confessions were chillingly detailed and undeniably real. In 2014, Samuel Little was convicted of 3 counts of first-degree murder in Los Angeles County, California. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In 2018, he was indicted on additional murder charges in Ohio and Texas. Little pleaded guilty to an additional murder charge in Ohio and was sentenced to another life sentence. He would spend the rest of his days behind bars. Samuel Little died on December 30th, 2020, at the age of 80 while in custody at a California prison. His death brought an end to one of the most extensive and horrific crime sprees in American history. The number of his victims may never be known for certain, a haunting reminder of the lives lost and the families forever impacted by his actions. While Samuel Little's victims were often marginalized and seemingly invisible to society, they were still someone's daughters, sisters, friends. The impact of their loss was devastating, leaving families and communities with unanswered questions and unresolved grief for years. The fact that their disappearances often went unnoticed or were not thoroughly investigated added another layer of pain to those left behind. While Little's crimes finally came to light, it brought a mix of horrific realization and a sense of closure to those who had been wondering for decades what happened to their loved ones. Psychologists and criminal profilers have analyzed Sam's case extensively, trying to understand the motivations behind his horrible actions. He seemed to have a deep-seated need for power and control, which manifested in the way that he chose his victims and carried out his crimes. The fact that he kept detailed mental records of his victims suggests a level of obsession and a desire to collect these experiences. His lack of remorse and empathy is a hallmark of a psychopath, a condition that may have been fueled by his traumatic childhood experiences and the subsequent development of deeply disturbed patterns of thoughts and behavior. It's important to consider the potential impact of a different upbringing. If Samuel Little had been raised in a more stable, supportive, and nurturing environment, his life could have taken a drastically different path. Access to mental health resources, a strong family support system, and a positive role model might have helped him address his troubling thoughts and behaviors early on. It's possible that with intervention and guidance, he could have channeled his energy into something other than violence. Of course, we cannot know for sure, but it's a chilling thought to ponder when considering the life of Samuel Little and the immense horrors he caused. A tragedy that leaves us questioning what could have been and what we as a society can do to prevent such horrors in the future. If you found this video insightful, please give a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Now You Know More. For more true crime stories and deep dives, be sure to check out one of my other videos as well. You might just find another topic that piques your interest. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and thanks for listening.